Come, the messenger is near.
From the moment Middle-earth Shadow of War was announced, it was clear Monolith Studios was making something pretty damned ambitious. And by ambitious, I of course mean lore-breaking. Now, I've played the game for review, and I'm fairly comfortable saying there are a whole host of moments that take the established lore in Middle-earth and basically do to it what Gollum accidentally does to the One Ring at the end of Return of the King. So, with that in mind, here are 6 times Shadow of War broke the law. Just before we kick off though, it should go without saying that there are some massive, absolutely whopping spoilers for Shadow of War ahead. Like, I probably couldn't spoil this game much more if I tried. You have been warned. First up, the new ring.
A ring of power.
Okay, so we're starting with an obvious one, but let's face it, it really does need to be addressed. While it was established in Shadow of Mordor that Celebrimbor was the smith who forged the original Rings of Power, that's 3 for the elves, 7 for the dwarves, 9 for the mortal men doomed to die, and of course the 1 for the Dark Lord on his Dark Throne, deciding to forge basically an inverted version of the ring that drove the plot of J.R.R. Tolkien's 3 most memorable books is a pretty gutsy move. Celebrimbor's ring is supposed to be free of Sauron's corrupting influence and is the reason you have access to so many abilities during your time with Shadow of War. Okay, bit of a self-indulgent lore explanation for a new skill tree, but we can give that a pass, at least. If I had to pick 2 specific problems with this new Ring of Power being forged though, number 1, duplicating the miraculous forging of an incredibly powerful artifact kind of diminishes the importance of the original item, and 2, it's hard to believe this ring could be considered free of any corrupting or bad influence when its powers include poisoning barrels of grog in such a way that the victims quite literally explode. That's a tenuous grip on morality right there. And since we're doing the obvious ones up front, we may as well talk about Shelob.
Why would I do that, Ringmaker?
Now, I feel like we've kind of covered this one a lot in the past, so I'll make it quick, but Shelob historically really isn't, nor has ever been, a porcelain-complexioned woman in an elegant ball gown. The lore explanation I was given for this one when I asked Monolith about it is that Shelob is the daughter of Ungoliant, who herself supposedly chose to manifest as a spider, so Shelob is also free to make that choice and take the form of a spider, or not. There's also some stuff thrown in there about Shelob deciding to become a spider after effectively being made a jilted woman, but here's the thing. No. Shelob wasn't born as a spirit capable of choosing how she manifests in order to inflict the most fear or get what she wants. She was born as a big old spider who likes paralysing things, wrapping them up, and then eating them. I know this game isn't considered canon, but that's just silly. Right, now that's sorted, let's talk necromancy.
Argoroth, we call you to the shallows.
A good deal of Karnan's questline, undoubtedly the worst in the game by the way, is concerned with a nasty orc necromancer called Zog. Zog, if the title Necromancer didn't already give this away, has the power to raise the dead. And also a Balrog, given half the chance. This was news to me and to a lot of people, to be honest, as there's never really been any concrete evidence whatsoever that orcs or uruks have been capable of wielding magic in the history of Middle-earth, much less that they already have an order of mystics in natty robes with their own established rituals and chants and things. I mean, to be fair to Zog, he certainly knows how to resurrect some nasty things and make for some truly irritating quests, but as far as law-breaking inclusions go, he's right up there with the best of them.
Don't be sad. It doesn't end here. I will wake all the dead of Mordor before we're done. All the lives you ended. And once they're risen, who do you think they'll come for?
Speaking of dead things, I'm now going to take a moment to talk about the inclusion of the Nazgul in Shadow of War. Now, the Nazgul, or Ringwraiths if you prefer, are some of the most menacing figures in all of Tolkien lore. Relentless, twisted-in versions of humanity, they're the most terrifying things on Middle-earth, bar Sauron himself. Their very presence is enough to make all but the bravest men crumble, which is why it's kind of lame that they've turned into a series of tepid boss encounters. While disappointing, however, that's not really what you'd consider lore-breaking, until Shadow of War starts naming names, that is. Now, in the history of the Wraiths, only 2 of the 9 have ever been named. There's the Witch King of Angmar, and also Camel the Easterling. Shadow of War, however, casually reveals that Helm Hammerhand, legendary King of Rohan, is in fact one of their number.
My master commands that you serve him.
He turns up as a Ringwraith wielding a dirty great hammer, despite the fact Helm was actually more famous for killing his enemies with his bare hands, hence the name Hammerhand. He did have a warhammer, sure, but he didn't really use it very much. More significant than what this member of the 9 is wielding, however, is the fact that he's part of the Nazgul's ranks in the first place. According to Tolkien lore, the Nazgul were first spotted around the year 2251 SA, or Second Age. That's almost 5,000 years before Helm Hammerhand was even born, let alone a celebrated warrior with a glorified mallet. If you ask me, it's a bit of a stretch to say someone born thousands of years after Sauron's crack team of scary mates was first formed is in fact one of their members. The 9 were mortal men, 3 of them were indeed kings, but they were corrupted by Sauron's influence and doomed to live as wraiths for eternity, their life forces tied to Sauron's. They don't get to retire and make way for the new breed, that's not really how it works. I'd be willing to let this particular lore point go, to be honest, if it didn't in fact happen a second time with a more upsetting character than the first. Hope you weren't too sentimental about Gondorian history, everybody, because whoops, Isildur is apparently a wraith now.
Just one.
Isildur, the king who cut the wood from Sauron's hand.
And wore it on his own.
That's Isildur, son of Elendil, High King of Gondor, who was born almost 1,000 years after the 9 first appeared in Middle-earth. For the record, just in case you thought I might be talking about another wildly renowned Isildur from Tolkien lore. And I get the story inclusion. It's upsetting for Talion to realise this almost mythical king, the man who cut the ring from Sauron's hand, might in fact be in Sauron's thrall as a wraith. It's a quick way to generate some dramatic tension without having to introduce a new character or explain too much about the lore. But it's also complete bobbins. In case you were wondering, by the way, Isildur and Helm being wraiths now is explained away, as these things tend to be, by the influence of the Rings of Power. In putting on one of the rings made for the mortal men, or more specifically, having it put on him after death, Isildur and Helm were basically granted a free pass to Team Ringwraith. Again, no telling where the ones they replaced went, but at least we know who they are now, I guess. While we're talking about timelines, actually, we may as well address the fact Shadow of War encompasses the fall of Minas Ithil, which is then turned into the terrifying fort of Minas Morgul. In Tolkien lore, this happens in the year 3429 SA, or Second Age, several millennia before the events of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, these taking place over 2,000 years into the Third Age. It's a bit of a nitpick to point out a climactic battle has been rent 6,000 years forward in time, sure, but it's still worth mentioning, mostly because it's about the only bit of lore breaking on this list I really like. Whether it happens in the wrong time period or not, seeing Minas Ithil fall is really pretty cool, especially once the transformation into the eerie, ghoulish Minas Morgul is complete. I'm not sure what the die-hard Tolkien fans made of it, but to be honest, I think it's kinda neat. And there you have it, 6 times Shadow of War broke the law. Hopefully you enjoyed this list, although I have a sneaking suspicion it just made me sound like a bit of a nitpicking wiener. So, there that goes. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video, we've got plenty more from Eurogamer for you to watch. There should be some of them on screen now. Do like and subscribe because it really does help us out. Thank you very much for watching, and have a lovely day.
Huh.